Good evening. Good evening. For this next tune, we would like to take you on a journey to a time early in our nation's literary history. Throughout our great American literature, there have been many iconic characters. Take, for example, Johnny Appleseed, Pecos Bill, Paul Bunyan, or Davy Crockett, just to name a few. But the story we're going to tell tonight is of the one and only Ichabod Crane. Who's Ichabod Crane, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you a story about one of the most famous stories in all of New England. The ominous tale of the legend of Sleepy Hollow was written by Mr. Washington Irving around 1819. Boy, did he ever know how to spin a yarn or two. Now, old Icky was the lean and lanky and very superstitious schoolteacher from Connecticut that had been described by Irving as to look like a goofy scarecrow who had escaped the cornfield. As for the legend, we would like to take you back to a point early in our nation's history, during a time when the city of Manhattan was just a small market town. Close by, nestled in a little cove up the Hudson River, lies the quaint little village of Territon. And just beyond, cradled in the low rolling hills, lies the sleepy little glen known as Sleepy Hollow. It was a quiet, peaceful place, and yet, somehow, foreboding. The Dutch people that first settled this area have many stories of dark spirits, twilight tales, and local superstitions. This brings us to our story about that itinerant schoolmaster that once inhabited these parts. The first character we will introduce is the new local schoolmaster himself, Ichabod Crane. His theme is loosely based on the German student song Gaudeamus AJ, used by Brahms in his academic festival overture. Since Ichabod is also the church choir director, phrases from the psalm tune Old 100 are used as well. The next character is Katrina Van Tassel, the daughter of an affluent Dutch farmer and object of Ichabod's infatuation. Her theme is playful and flirtatious. She is described by Irving as a little coquette with a provokingly short petticoat that displayed the prettiest foot and ankle in the country round. The last character, the apparition of the Headless Horseman, is a favorite legend shared amongst the townsfolk of Sleepy Hollow, many of whom claim to have seen him riding his horse in the gloom of night, as if on the wings of the wind. The second half of this theme incorporates the Dies Irae, or the Day of Wrath, from the Requiem Mass. The story, painted on the canvas of music, begins at the annual fall Halloween dance at the mansion of Katrina's father. Ichabod's and Katrina's themes are presented in 3/4 time, and then heard simultaneously as the couple dances together. The party then proceeds to the ghost storytelling portion of the night. After the dance, Ichabod is rejected by Katrina and begins to slowly ride his horse back home. With ghost stories filling his head, he soon becomes frightened and nervously begins whistling the old song tune. Suddenly, out of the night, the ominous silhouette of the apparition appears. Horror-struck, Ichabod takes off on his horse, and the chase begins. Away then, they dash through the thick and thin, stones flying and sparks flashing at every bound. The Headless Horseman closes in and hurls his head at Ichabod, knocking him off his horse. The apparition rides off and disappears into the night. Ichabod is never again seen in Sleepy Hollow, but the voice of his ghost is often heard chanting a melancholy psalm tune among the tranquil solitudes of Sleepy Hollow. We hope you enjoy. Thank you.